Remove the idols, purify and wash yourselves, put on clean garments, ascend up to the house of God. Jacob acknowledges the hand of God in his life, preserving him through good times and bad. The family purges themselves of evil, of profane things, of impediments to a right relationship with God, bridges to past life, burned, the house of God before them, their prior lifestyles, buried, forgotten, removed. A trembling terror about the ferocity of this new Hebrew family descended upon the Canaanites. The murderous vengeance of Simeon and Levi consolidated the reputation of Jacob and his family as a family not to be messed with. God now reconfirms his blessing and renaming to Jacob. There's a new family in the land. They worship an omnipotent God, the great I Am. So we have this second Bethel experience, very similar to his decades earlier experience. Jacob's descendants will inherit the land. Messiah would come from Jacob. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is, Bethlehem. This shockingly sad event is mentioned almost in passing. They came to the land of promise, set up shop at Shechem, and were engulfed in rape and murder. They remove the profane, purify themselves, arrive at the house of God, and receive confirmation of God's blessing and good favour. Then they leave the house of God, and Rachel dies in childbirth. Her midwife seems to have prophetic insight, knowing it was a boy, and that the son would survive. As she is dying, names her son Benoni, usually rendered son of my sorrows. There's the possibility the name meant son of my strength, which makes more sense of Jacob's subtle change of name to Benjamin, meaning son of my right hand or son of my strength. Maybe Israel took his eyes off his heavenly shepherd at Edah, and his eldest son disgraced the family. Reuben at this point loses his privilege and position as firstborn son. He lay with Bilhah, whose name means trouble or calamity, and she and Reuben certainly brought calamity to the house of Israel. Judah becomes the head of the family, Levi becomes the spiritual overseer, and Jacob receives a double portion of inheritance. So now we have for the first time the full list of the names of the sons of Israel, and we have Rachel's actual sons placed in the centre of Jacob's family. These were the 12 sons that were born to Jacob as a result of him sojourning in Paddan Aram. We have another chapter ending in death. Isaac was gathered to his people. His sons bury his remains. The chapter started with so much promise. Jacob, now 120 years of age, purified his family, ascended to the house of God, received a reconfirmation of the earlier promises, spent time in praise and worship of God at an altar. But then, soon after he moved from the house of God, his greatly loved wife Rachel dies. His eldest son wickedly betrays him. Then finally, his father dies. This chapter imprints on my heart how important it is for us to remain close to the house of God, lest we fall into calamity.